Welcome to the show. The Hogan administration has recently begun unblocking Facebook users from the governor's official Facebook page in the wake of extreme criticism and the threat of legal action from the American Civil Liberties Union of Maryland over his office deleting negative comments and banning critics. Jim, do you think the governor should be banning users in the first place?
Yeah, who cares? Seriously, is this all we have to deal with in this state? Is this the priority? Is this the priority for the American Civil Liberties Union? I could give a flip side. Would you like how I did that?
That was excellent. Jim.
I could give
Don't quit your day job.
I could give a flip side. Who's blocking whom on Facebook? Whether it's the governor or the president. Of course, his is Twitter, right? Who cares? Why are we focusing on this? We've got real problems in this country. We've got real problems in this state. Let's fix them.
Some of them are even manufactured.
Amen.
Yep, and this is a murky free speech area because the use of social media for political speech, it's relatively new. It started mainly with Barack Obama's 2008 campaign for the White House, where he used social media more effectively than any other person running for political office previously did. And him starting that began what was a revolution in the use of social media for news, social media to get out political messages, and it's to the point where people think that social media is the forum of free speech when these companies, Facebook and Twitter, are privately owned, and it's already established that Facebook can censor speech and Twitter can censor speech that doesn't conform with its standard of use. So when you have a governor or a politician using a Facebook page that a lot of times is funded by their personal campaigns and not by the government itself, then they should be able to do whatever it is that they want with that.
So let me point out something here. So we've actually got two different issues here. The first issue is censoring speech, all right, on Facebook. Is that allowable? I actually say yes. I say that's allowable because Facebook is a private entity, all right, and therefore you can censor speech. You don't have to give someone else a podium to stand on, as the litmus test there. But the other side of the issue, that I have concerns on, is the blocking. All right, now there's two different types of blocking people out there. You can block someone that they can't see anything, all right, or you can block someone like on a Facebook organizational page where they can see the page but they can't comment on it. Now personally, I think that where the line needs to be drawn is that for transparency's sake, that it's absolutely allowable to block someone where they can't post a comment as long as that block doesn't prohibit them from viewing the material. Now, Facebook is that way, so technically that's okay. But where that actually becomes problematic is sites like Twitter. Okay, so if someone blocks you on Twitter, you can't see what they're posting now. All right, unless you take extra steps to log out and log into a different account or whatever. That's where I start to get a little bit concerned, because if you've got a page that is being run by a government official in an official capacity, that page needs to be transparent. That content needs to be accessible to everyone.
Well, in this particular instance, isn't it the governor's official Facebook page? Now, who do you think pays for that?
Most likely the state.
Okay, now,
Pays
you
what?
get into
Pays what?
For people to maintain the Facebook page.
Yeah, to maintain it. You got people that maintain to look at it on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
You have a staff of folks that look at what's going on. It's not just willy-nilly where you're going. Now, the Facebook page includes the ability to block.
Right.
It includes the ability to do a lot of different
delete
things.
comments.
You know that up front. Hogan knows up front that if he wants that Facebook page, the governor knows if he wants it, he's going to be subjected to criticism.
Yep.
As you are on yours,
Absolutely.
I am on mine, and you are on yours, and Jim, you are. We know that. But for the American Civil Liberties Union to come back and for somebody that did block it want to sue for it, should they go to that extent? Because now you get back to what your First Amendment right is.
Yep, and
Right.
I'd like to go back with where you said that if it was the governor's official Facebook page. Now, obviously, if he's paying the interns with state money or the staffers with state money that maintain the Facebook page, that obviously needs to be transparent in a certain capacity. But there was a Loudoun County official who was actually ruled against in court for blocking dissenting views on her Facebook page, and that page was 0%. It didn't use county money at all. It was her own page, and yet the court ruled against her. So do you guys think that the court should be able to rule against public officials who maybe use the page in an official capacity,
If they're
but it
using it
isn't,
in an official capacity.
but it isn't funded at all by the government?
It's a gray area. It really is.
Here's not a gray area. If you don't want people commenting on your page, turn off that ability,
Right.
blanket wide.
Yep.
That makes it easy.
Well, but he determines to have a Facebook page. He determines to put his pros and cons out. If I disagree with a comment or a position, I have the right to respond to it. And what did you say a little bit ago?
No, I don't think you do.
Why don't I?
I think-
Doesn't everybody in the state have the right to?
You have
I think
the right
you have
to
the-
respond,
but not necessarily on that page.
right. In other words, that's like, all right, you're sitting in your yard and you say something I disagree with.
On Facebook.
No. I'm saying physically.
Yeah,
All right. If you're
okay.
sitting on your lawn,
We'll go with your
yelling
hypothetical.
about the clouds.
Okay.
All right, and I disagree with you. I think the clouds are a different color. All right. Am I legally allowed to come over to your property and tell you that I think the clouds are a different color? Or do I have to stay over on my property? Or I have to stay on the road?
Well, you're taking your life in your own hands in that particular instance.
I think it's a little different issue for me. I think the analogy is that if I send a letter in response to something the governor said in opposition to a policy, does he have the responsibility to publish it to the rest of the
No.
state of Maryland?
Or the
No.
responsibility to even read it?
Right.
Right.
And one other thing regarding the governor's use of the Facebook page, his initial defense for why he was blocking these users, some of them posted vitriolic comments, and he was getting rid of the hateful, the racist comments rather than just going against people with opposite viewpoints. Do you
Because
think that
let's-
there should be a
No, I think
differentiation
with
among that?
I think with what Tyler says, when it gets into that point, you have the right to block it. You have the right to cut it out. You have
But
the
But
right
that is
decide what's
that is by
vitriolic and what's
definition
not.
censorship, because that's the proverbial slippery slope. At what point is it vitriol versus a difference of opinion? Who defines that? You may define it differently than I.
But doesn't the governor have the right to do it? His people have the right to do it. That is a right.
It is. I agree. But again, there's at what point? That's
Yeah.
my point.
Just to beat the drum one more time, Facebook is a privately owned platform.
But it's
Therefore,
public
they can
once you
set the
turn it
rules.
on.
It's accessible to the public, just like a grocery store is accessible.
But you
to
don't
the
even
public.
have to read it, right?
You don't have to read it.
All
Nope.
right, that'll be the last word on that. Next up on the flip side, our panel takes a closer look at unemployment in Washington County. Stay tuned.